WIFTPM.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:41 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather update. The Chicago White Sox will beat the Detroit Tigers in 7-8 as Eloy will hit a 2-run homer. Benches will clear, but we will win 8-7. Let's go Sox. Over the traffic on the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop, 60 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 37. On the Eden, Deerfield to the Exchange, 70. Exchange back to Deerfield will be 44. All right, on the Eisenhower Thorndale to the Loop, 77 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 42. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 64 minutes. Outbound will be 34. The Bishop Ford I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 44 minutes. 29 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 25 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is still locked in at 8 minutes all around. 55th to Jackson, Jackson to 55th. Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr back to Randolph. Today's weather is currently 64 and sunny. Today will be a high of 72 and a low of 61. I'm Riis the Ruler, and I hear is So Good on the Mays Jackson Show.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, there's turning left and right.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore in here. DJ Riis the Ruler. We're going to ask y'all to come on back. This is the Mays Jackson Show. Y'all come on back. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Let them know we are back in the building, back on the base. We are talking about this whole concept of our young ladies. When are they accountable? What's our responsibility? Ruthie, I can't lie to you and tell you that I do, when our sisters are in my presence, I do feel somewhat responsible. And not even just the babies. Like, I feel like my job is to be looking around.
That's you.
Like, my job is supposed to be like, yo, what's the incoming?
Never felt unsafe around Mays Jackson or other black men in Mays Jackson's purview.
I don't. So you gotta understand. Like, I was reading these comments thinking to myself. So if y'all saw my daughter out kicking it, and some grown dude was out there, and she was out, and you knew that this dude, like, do you feel responsibility to be like, hey, dog? Like, if I saw any of y'all, Riis, you like, you mind your business? Riis, you call me, okay?
Nah, you know what? I'll probably call you. I probably want to approach her because I don't have that relationship, but, I'll be like, even though I know I can't tell you nothing because you're going to, splatter, I'll be like, Maze, don't, say it, nothing,
Don't say I said it.
No, I wouldn't put you on blast.
I'm just saying I saw outside and, dude look kind of 40-ish.
Right. I mean, I do, like, I feel like the kids should be able to play. That's how I feel. I feel like the kids should be able to have all the crushes. They should be able to go through all the everything. And there should be a grown-ass man that's like, I'm not. Nope, not.
Think about what's some of the messaging that we teaching to young girls is you know, use what you got to get something.
Who teaches them that though?
It's in the media.
That's
like
fact.
that's the culture is let me use what I got.
Is that this whole $40 thing?
I don't know what's $40. Oh,
Really?
I know what you're talking about.
$40.
I know what you're talking about. That ain't in this. Well, okay.
I mean, that just says to me like 40. Like if
that's inflation rates. Like
that's inflation rates.
I mean, what do you call a currency transfer? Like when it's the exchange rates.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's about. Because you're talking about in a different country, right? It's $40. That's how that started. It was like
it's
you
$40 here.
See, I think that started. They was talking about how you can go to some Latin American country and you can get these beautiful women, and it's
Dominican
the
Republic,
and it's $40. Like that's where that started at. But that's based on the exchange rates.
What's the local exchange rate?
$40.
Probably
Here in Chicago.
40.
40. It's sometimes lower. $40.
Let's go to the live line. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Accountability. When do we protect our girls? How long should we protect our girls?
Good morning.
Good morning. Is this Cassandra?
Good morning, Maze.
Good morning,
yes,
Cassandra.
it is. Ruthie and Riis. This brought back a flood of memories for me. I've been out of school for a long time. In the 80s, I was at an all-girls Catholic school on the southeast side of Chicago. So, of course, poor growing up, but my mother was able to at least send me to an all-girls school which she thought was protecting me, right? So I'm at school. Young lady transfers into school our junior year. She was Nicki Minaj before Nicki Minaj was even thought of. Just boom, Jessica Rabbit body. She befriended me, and I got $2 for lunch. She's got $100 in her pocket for lunch. She's got, we used to wear all those chains looking like Mr. T, all the chains. And we're in uniform. So the only thing sets you apart is your accessories. She would talk to me about how she pays her own tuition. Now, I'm in the office every month because my tuition is late. My mother's trying to scrape it together, right? She was like, you'll never have to be embarrassed again. You should start paying your own tuition. In my head, I'm like, I got $2, $1 to get to school, $1 for lunch. What are you talking about? So she finessed and befriended me and everything and started letting me wear her chains, started letting me wear her school jacket. Come to find out, she was a prostitute. Pruning. And was like, once you get all caught up, she giving you money, paying for your lunch and everything, and saying, hey, you too can have all of this. Why should you look like a ragamuffin when you can look like this and look like me and so on and so forth? That was amazing to me. I mean, I heard about prostitutes, but I didn't know it hit home like that. We're talking about my age, 16, right? And she said she's been doing it since she was in grammar school. I was like, no, thank you. I'll just sit in the office and be embarrassed until my mother can come up with the money because that's her job, right? So it starts from home. Home knows what you're doing. Her parents knew. Her mom knew, right? So, but I had the discernment to know that was not my lot in life, and I'm not getting caught up in that. I'm trying to change the trajectory of my life, and that ain't the route. I just wanted to share that with you guys, that your parents know and your friends know. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Cassandra. I don't know if your parents always know. I would say that your parents don't always know because depending on what your parents are doing, I always hear people's parents was working, etc. I think my parents didn't know 3/4 that I was. And I was a kid and I had a curfew and always met it. But boy, get in and be hours. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, this is the Maze Jackson Show. How you feeling today? When should we stop protecting our girls? Hey, Katie, when should we stop protecting when is it no longer our responsibility to protect young black girls?
Oh, I think it's up to 21. Nowadays, we have to protect them and hoover over them 21.
I think
I'm just so happy that with R. Kelly that he is being held accountable to let people know and let these young girls know you don't have to sell your body. You know, you don't have to. There are other ways to get by. You don't have to do that. But in the past, I mean, you know, I can remember. You know, I remember when I was 17, and there was a 24-year-old guy. But I think he was afraid because you know he had to come to to visit me on the front porch at the house with my mom and my dad. So. And my mom, she married early, very early. You know, back in those days, it was, you know, the young girls they didn't have a mother. My mother's father died when she was young. So, you know, just like Ruthie, everything Ruthie says is true. You know, they be out here trying to get money so that they can live a better life. But it's more than one way you can do that. You don't have to sell yourself to these older guys. So it's like, it might be I'm talking to the wind, but...
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, Katie. Eric,
that's what I think.
thank you so much. Don't tell me 49 in your face. You said you was 17 and your prom date was 25? Let me just say, this is what I got to say, and I mean this as respectfully as possible. If a 25-year-old is going out on a prom date, his anticipation is to bend you backwards. I'm not trying to be funny, but essentially, the 25-year-old, please don't say you said yep to that, Erica. Just keep that to yourself. But the expectations of a 25-year-old after a $200 date and a dress is probably a little different than a 17-year-old. And maybe not that far off, but the ability to affect that, like there's something about, to me, we gotta figure out a way. Because I also think that these moms be telling these girls to get with older men in some cases because ain't nothing a young man can do for you, right? Because he hasn't achieved his... Why you looking at me like that?
No, yeah, it's...
Because I look at it, and then how does it work out, though? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Now I'm going to weave into this R. Kelly. So I asked all of these questions because R. Kelly was convicted yesterday, found guilty. Is there anyone that does not think that R. Kelly interacted regularly with young girls underage, under the legal limit? Let's start there. Now, none of them really were young white women. So it's interesting to me to see the varying levels of outrage. Let me just tell you, if there was a white girl anywhere in that mix, that dude would have been under the jail forever. The first time. What role does race play in this? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't really feel like race plays any role in how I feel about the situation. As a matter of fact, if you prey on black girls and kids, as a black person, I feel like you should get extra. That's me. But I gotta ask y'all, R. Kelly, guilty, do we have any compassion for the young girls? Or did they get what they deserved? Did they get what they asked for? Was it abuse? Were they star chasing? Because some of this, I'm not going to lie, has, in my estimation, been the perks of superstardom. Right? And I'm going to tell you that if everybody was over 21, I probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because I think everybody got there's a certain point where you going to do what you want to do. All the factors that play into your life are those. But I think that even the 18 is an arbitrary number, but I think it's a number that at least supposed to set a standard. Guilty, not guilty, what role does race play in this? And what role does race play in how you see the victims? Or is, in your mind, R. Kelly the victim? It's funny because, you read these responses and people would tell you that R. Kelly is a victim of the racist system. How much? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Riis, go to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
How you doing? My name is Joey. How you doing, man? I met you before. It's nice meeting you again. Nice hearing you.
Thank you, brother.
This conversation, I don't want to offend anybody because it's a very touchy conversation, but I do think that it also needs to be taken into account point of view and intentions. You know what I'm saying? Because age different around that age is different when you because I ain't gonna lie, my girl is 3.5 years younger than me. So when we started dating in high school, I was a 5th year senior. No lie. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping on that. But the fact that when I went to prom and I saw people older than me, it was kind of hard not to judge them. Dude, you look like you was in school with my older cousin. You know what I'm saying? So it does matter as far as point of view. Now being a father of 2 daughters, I don't think it's not until I say so. That's how I feel. I feel like parents know their children better than anybody else should know their children. That's what it's supposed to. Good parenting, you have to pay attention to those things. You have to put it in those times. And even in my family, we have our own faults. Everybody has their faults. But, if you got an older cousin, he going to put you on game about guys. We not going for that. We not trying to let you be out there lost. As a family, the structure that I came from, you know what I'm saying? I got a little sister. My older cousin might be like, hey, yo, but dude over here, he playing this role. You need to, watch out for that. That's just how it's supposed to be as far as a group.
Okay. Well, I 100%. I think we just gotta. I do have a different perspective as. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't have a different perspective as a father. I don't. I feel the same way, which is, look, yo, keep your mitts, your paws off my kids. I don't care if they are wandering around dumb, lonely, and looking for love and affection. You stay your monkey ass away. Your job is to be like, let me direct you to your auntie. Your job is to be like, nah, little sister. And I'm going to tell you, as a man, there have been numerous times when you probably have been put in precarious situations that nobody would have said nothing. Right? You watched that, what was that show, American, with Kevin Spacey when he became the superstar, when he was plotting on sleeping with cheerleader party, and it won Oscars and all that stuff. Y'all remember that movie? It was like Kevin Spacey, and it was like his daughter was a cheerleader, and I just don't. Ruthie, when the R. Kelly tape came out, and all I gotta say bye to y'all, but guess what? We're gonna have to wrap this up because the